Berkeley. That's like nirvana to hippies, okay? We pray to the west, to Berkeley. And lo and behold, we opened the place. John had to work with me for 6 months. Now I'm 85, but okay. John works with me for 6 months. We opened in Berkeley. And I started to have this epiphany that these people were going to have to hire other people. And how am I going to know that the other people are like these people, who happen to be like me? So I gave them the perspective test. By the way, the answer to the indigent person, because we had a little kid who was a foster child. He came in with his father, his foster father, little guy, this big. And he walked in, and he opened the door, and he felt his way around. And his father kept saying, don't touch, don't touch. And he handed me the kid's prescription. Now, do you all know your prescriptions? You have any idea what they are? This kid was a minus 1150. That's like literally the inside of a baseball. Okay? He couldn't see. I said, mister, if you don't let this kid touch, he's not going to know where he is. And he said, well, we don't have really any money. I said, you don't worry about the money. I want to make this kid see. And when this kid put those glasses on, it was, I still get goosebumps thinking about it. It made everything worthwhile. Everything. And forget about the bottom line, forget about the top line, the EBITDA, before taxes, after taxes, no taxes, then tax. Anybody here from the tax? We gave it to him and we said, this is what life's about. This is what life is about. Think about perspective. You know, as we grew, our turnover rate was minimal. I don't think we lost, I don't know how many people. I was telling somebody the other day, I was giving a lecture over at university, Kutztown. My graduate alma mater, where Bud is. Bud works for the Kutztown SBDC, works with, and Bud is also my fellow director and senior fellow of the Institute for Effective Leadership, along with Don Martin. We have an institute, which is one of the co-publishers of the book. We were talking about yesterday how important it was to understand where you were philosophically about things, where people were in their life mission, okay? If you think about the perspective of your life, what comes to you? What's important to you? You think anybody on their deathbed thinks, I wish we would have signed a Dink account. If we would only gotten that one more contract and built that one more place, that one more HOA community, okay, I would die much happier. I just would. Well, leadership. Leadership, to me, was about infecting the folks who worked for me with my philosophy. Now, I'm not saying that if it's important to you to get the Dink account, don't get the Dink account. Business is a game, and we all play the game to win. You know, I am still a capitalist and wanted to make that next pair of glasses. I mean, I still have that little book that told me how many people came in and what they were worth. So don't get the wrong idea. You know, I was on a show in San Francisco, and I went out there, and the woman said, well, how can you make any money? It was a talk show. How can you make any money at $25? And I said, well, let me explain something to you. Because now, see, John was now in San Francisco. Yeah? He had the store at Berkeley. First time I saw cops with long hair. I was like, I didn't know whether to run or get on my knees and pray. So I went, wow, I said to my wife at the time, okay? In a long line of wives, my wife at the time. I said to her, can you believe the cops are freaks here? She said, no, I can't believe it. But still, put your blinker on. I said, okay. So, in Berkeley, I just ran something off the top of my head here. But Where was I, bud? I don't know either. I was in Berkeley somewhere. See, it all comes back.
San Francisco.
I was on a show. That's it. Thank you very much. And the woman said to me, how much... See, we're making relationships here now. This is a beautiful thing. Do you really make any money at $25 a pair of glasses? And I said, you got to know this. I'm staying at the Fairmount on the top floor. Okay? I flew here first class. Okay? I pay my people very well. So even though my philosophy is people before profits, there is the second part of that phrase. And that's profit. So I'm making a profit. We don't give anything away, except if it's a little kid that can't see or somebody needs it and can't afford it. Okay? We don't give anything away. We make money. You got to pay people. But in the perspective of life, when indeed you are on your deathbed, what is it that you want people to remember you for and by? That's what's important to me. I just turned 30. And with this side. Okay. And we're from here up, I guess. And rest, forget about it. And by the way, I was at my high school reunion, and they were talking about their PSA scores and how high they were. And I said to the young lady, I said, this crowd thinks PSA is a different thing. You don't have a PSA score with this crowd, all right? And the guys got it. They didn't get it. So, anyway, bingo. I lost it again. But, what? Oh, yeah, stay at the Fairmount. Thanks. There's nothing like audience participation. We were on the top floor. Yeah, and it just was my philosophy to make money but not rip anybody off. The highest possible quality at the lowest possible price. We don't rip anybody off. And if anybody remembers the articles written about us, or when we were on television or in Newsweek or Good Morning America. Good Morning America, that was great. I debated the head of the American Optical Association. And he took off his glasses and he said, see these? There's no way you could sell these for $25. The frame alone cost me more than $25. I said to him, I can't help it if they saw you coming. Anyway, leadership. So I had this feeling that my little company at 15th and Pine and my beard and my hair did not leave me immune to being a leader of this company. I mean, we had stores in San Francisco and LA, Chicago and Miami, Coconut Grove. Anybody go to Coconut Grove? It's great. It's like, do I really have to fit people for glasses? I want to sit out in the sun. I can fit them for sunglasses outside. Okay? So, I knew that when we started to reach the point where I didn't know everybody's name, okay, or I didn't know who was hiring whom in a different place. And I'm sure there are plenty of people here that have those situations. But I had to get people to do what I wanted them to do. And here's a quote. It's one of my favorite quotes on leadership.